Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl What C Said. No makeup pro, but I'm here to give it a go. Today I am going to be reviewing a product and also doing a wear test. So if you want to see what product I'll be reviewing, keep watching. You were in my inbox on Instagram asking me for my thoughts on this foundation. I have finally got my hands on it, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of background, a little bit of my thoughts, and also do a wear test. So let's get into the foundation, shall we? So I'm looking at Fenty Beauty's website. So this is the new, this came out Christmas time, 2020. And it's the new Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation, buildable, light to full coverage in all 50 shades. So I've purchased Fenty Beauty's foundation before, and I'll give you my tea on that in a second. Award-winning foundation that forever changed the game, now in a long wear, light as air powder to deliver a light to full coverage in a non-cakey, soft matte finish in 50 shades for all. It's fast, flawless, and easy. Tell me more, it says. Long wear, light as air, no flashback. Blur filter complex to deliver the ultimate blurred finish. Sweat, humidity, and crease resistant. Buildable, light to full coverage formula that loves to be layered. It won't settle into fine lines, clog pores, or cake up. It reduces the appearance of shine. It's chic portable powder, and it fits in your hand. And apparently Rihanna loves poreless, blurred looking skin, so could never find the perfect powder to satisfy her needs. After 3 years of perfecting this formula, she's developed this powder to make your skin look like skin and not cakey, to work on all skin types and tones, and it's the perfect filter on the go, and she always has it in her purse. And then it gives you some how-tos, which I'll come on to in a second. So I purchased this powder from Harvey Nichols, and it cost me £27. You can also get it from Boots if you're here in the UK. If you're in the US, you can get it from Sephora. A little bit of background on the new product that you can see I've not opened yet. It's brand new. Seal has not been broken. Let me talk about the foundation that I've tried from Fenty, and it's the original OG, as I want to call it, which is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I bought the shade 440 originally, and you can see my skin has changed, my skin tone has changed, and it's a little bit too orange for me. So I thought, let me go down a shade, or go to a slightly deeper shade that was more neutral. And that's why I chose the shade 445. In terms of the foundation, I have mentioned before that I am not a fan of it. And I don't know if it's because it was too orange, so maybe I need to give it another go in the shade 445 instead. But I just didn't like it for me. It just didn't work well for me, even when using it with the primer as well, because I try to keep products together if I possibly can to make them work together. And for the purposes of this video, I will be using the Fenty Beauty's primer with the product. But yeah, I mix it, so I didn't want to waste it because I bought it, so I'm going to use it. So I tend to mix it when I go on holiday, because it does have long wear and it is sweat proof and it's really good. So when I'm dressing up in the evening, I tend to mix this with a darker foundation that I use as I'm getting a tan and stuff, and it works. But that's for the formula, not necessarily for the colour. So that's my thought. So trying this, I'm really trying it for you guys. It's not even for me. Okay, why lie? I did want to try it anyway. But yeah, based on the foundation, I was kind of like, meh. My favourite product from Fenty has got to be the concealer, and that is in the shade 445. So it's the right amount of neutral that I need in it. So I'm hoping they'll work well together, because apparently the powder does skew a little bit darker. I'm telling you, between the cockerel and the doorbell, I'm done. I'm so done. So in this video, I'm going to use as much Fenty products that I personally bought and that I love as far as I possibly can, she says. So even down to primer. I've always done my brows, and for my brows, I didn't use a brow product. I don't have the brow product because I've got my OG. I've got one that I use and I like, so I'm sorry. But I concealed my brows using the concealer in shade 445. So let's put some primer on and talk about what this product apparently can do and how we should use it, shall we? So I'm using the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer. So I'm going to give it a shake. And to address the elephant in the room, I burnt my hand. So to save you from the nastiness, I've covered it over. So I'm just going to use this. The first pump didn't come out, so I'll use that much. And then I'm going to apply this all over my face. Try not to disturb my brows. That I've already done. Might have used a bit too much, guys. We move. It's fine. I have combination to oily skin. So I tend to then powder down my primers. And because I want to stick with using all of the products by Fenty, just put that up there, I'm going to use their setting powder in the shade Hazelnut. So I'm just going to tap that out into the lid. So that's the colour there. And then I'm going to use my powder puff. Baby. Ooh, there she is. Use my powder puff. I'm just going to set my primer in my oily spots. So not necessarily all over, just in my really oily spots. That's my nose, and that's around here. There's my chin as well. Just these spots here, and then my forehead. So that is that. I'll put that to one side. So how to, it says, before applying the Pro Filt'r Matte Powder Foundation, be sure to moisturize your skin and then apply your favorite primer, which I've just done. Use the included sponge to build your desired coverage for a blurred finish. We recommend using the Powder Puff setting brush for light coverage, and for medium to full coverage, use their Kabuki Buff foundation brush. Yeah, I don't have those items, so I'm gonna use the next best thing that I have. So let's get into the product, shall we? Let's open it. My scissors out. Where my scissors at? Let's bust the seal of this. I mean, there's probably a far easier way to open it. I'm gonna open it from the bottom because busting the seal was just doing too much. So this is what the product looks like. Matching the hexagonal thing she's got going on with the rest of her skin products. So that's like a hexagonal shape. The bronzer. What else? The lip products. The hexagonal shape, which I'm here for. Consistency and all that. That is the powder. I love the FB print. And then, oh, that's cute. You can see my reflection. Got a mirror inside for your sponge. I previously used, and everybody probably used this, the Studio Fix by MAC, and I used the shade NW55, and I loved this, but I did get oily after a while. Does anybody remember using this Studio Fix? What was it called? I think it's actually the powder foundation. So this was used to be my OG. I don't know why I still have it. Maybe the comparison. Okay, don't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. So that's the NW55 by MAC if I want to do a little quick compare. I'm not going to be using it. And then this is Fenty. So you see this one's a little bit more orange compared to this one. It's a little bit more neutral. So when working with powder foundations like this, the first thing to do is to put on your liquids. That's your concealer, that's your cream contour if you're using a cream contour. Put all of those products on first, and then you put this product on. I'm actually going to do my eyeshadow before foundation today, which is never what I usually do. Let's go back into the foundation. We'll finish up the eyes in a second. I'm trying to use as much Fenty products as I possibly can, or as many, should I say, as I can. So that's going to be my Matchstick in Espresso, and my concealer in the shade 445, as I've already shared. So let me put my concealer on first. Put your concealer on as you would if you're putting it on top of your liquid foundation. And then I'm going to spot conceal bits that I'm not happy about. So spot conceal that. Spot conceal that far, because I don't know what I'm going for my skin. Lockdown skin, like, I'm gonna need you to let me know in the comments below how you've been getting on with your lockdown skin, because lockdown skin has not been it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie to you. Lockdown skin has not been it at all. And then not being able to go on holiday and stuff, it's not been it. It's not. My upper lip always needs a bit of help, doesn't it, really? And I'm now using it for highlight. So literally, this is what I would do on top of my foundation. Maybe not as heavy duty. But this is what I would do. It wouldn't be as heavy duty because I'm relying on my foundation to conceal me. So let's see. I haven't used anything. I've just literally used the spoolie applicator, whatever it's called, to just distribute it around my face. Right now, this lip top kind of goatee situation is looking real gorgeous. So I'm gonna leave that to dry for a little bit. Using a damp sponge as I ordinarily would. I don't know which sponge this is, I couldn't tell you. But let me squeeze out more of the water because it is wet. I'm going to blend out this concealer. So because we've done this now, we won't need to put concealer on afterwards, because you put your liquids on before you put on your powder. And that's the hope. And then the hope is equally that I'll put the powder on top of, as well as around the concealed points. Because it's supposed to give me coverage in the other places. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I mean, lockdown skin is really, it's not gang at all. I cannot wait to have a facial and kickstart that process again. Damp sponge, damp sponge. Oh, look at that coverage. I just, honestly, I love this concealer. It's my, honestly, favorite concealer ever. Especially when you leave it to dry, you'll get more coverage. Tip if you didn't know. And if you feel like you need a little bit more, which I'm going to do just here and here, put some on and you just hit a dab. You don't need more than that. So that's that done. So now I'm going to put on my cream, got something on my face, my cream contour stick. Before I do that, let me just deal with what's on my face. What's a hair? What's a lily hair? Okay. As I ordinarily would do, I'm trying not to do anything different to if I was using my normal foundation. And then I'm going to use this angled brush that I've got from Real Techniques just to buff that. Because it's going under my powder, I'm not too bothered, she says, if it's still quite dark. So let's blend that out so we haven't got marks, because marks underneath is ridiculous, but you can still have a bit of depth to it. So you see I've still got some depth there that I want to keep. And let's blend it out. That. Boom, boom. And then I'm going to take the brush that I used for my nose, because it needs to be a bit smaller than that big one, and just blend that out. By the way, this isn't necessarily nose contour in the usual sense. It just gives my face a bit of shape. I'm going to really put myself in the face. And if I feel it's still not blended enough, I take a slightly more pointed brush. Just blend that up into my brow. Because I'm going to show you what I do with the powder product afterwards. Now, blend out this bit of concealer that I left here. And then I'm going to set my concealer in my powder puff. So I'm going to just tap that. So I'm going to set these bits here in my powder puff. And my Fenty powder. And then for my inner corner, I do still like to use, I do like to use my sponge ordinarily, but I'm wondering if I should actually just do it a little bit different today. I'm trying not to do what I wouldn't ordinarily do. Let me use a sponge. So I'm gonna use a damp beauty blender, black one that I've got. And just set my concealer a little bit and then go in here. This is not to bake, by the way, it's literally just setting. It's just to set. Setting exercise only, we're not doing anything crazy here. I don't actually like baking that much anyway. If you notice, I kind of like go under where I put my contour because I don't want to disturb the contour too much. I'm trying to keep it to just being where I put the concealer more than anything else. I am going to put a little bit of powder to catch fallout because I'm going to do my lower lash line now. I'm keeping that powder to literally below my crease lines because I just don't need to put any more powder in my crease lines. The only thing I do slightly bake my nose. That's as much as you're getting. Next, I'm going to put my eyeliner on, Brave. And I'm using Fenty Beauty again, the Fly Liner in Cause I'm Black. So I'm just going to apply that to my upper lash line. It feels so strange doing things in this order. It really does. It feels very, very strange. I use the powder puff to avoid disturbing the makeup underneath as well. Another little tip. I'm just dusting off that excess powder that I used to catch the fallout from the eyeshadow. And now the part that you've all been waiting for, the powder. I don't have the brush and I'm not going to use the sponge from in here because one thing I remember when I was using the MAC equivalent of this many moons ago was that it started to get like a, in fact, I can show you, it started to get like this effect in it. And I was speaking to my girl, your host Lala, so check her out on Instagram as well as here on YouTube. And one of the things she mentioned was that what happens is the sponge absorbs your oil and then it then transfers into your the powder. So I'm gonna not do that with this one because I don't want that to happen again, and see how it performs. And also a couple of people I've seen have used the brush to build up their coverage anyway. And one thing I do know is obviously because I put on all my creams and stuff before, I want to build on that and try not to lose especially like my contour and stuff. So here she is again, one more time. I had to get my still for my thing, you know. So This is a Kabuki style brush. This is a Morphe brush that I've got. I can't remember the name of it. If I remember the details, I'll add that to the description below. And it's flat-headed, and you can see how packed it is. It's packed. It is packed to the rafters. So I'm going to use the mirror in here, which, can I say, is very, very cute. It's like so cute. It's a very cute mirror. And I'm going to disturb the FB. It's like using a lipstick for the first time when you disturb that perfect shape. I'm sorry. So I'm going to dip my brush in, and I'm just going to get into this, see what happens. I must say, it looks very, very, very pretty. I'm trying not to go too much up into my under eye because it creases a lot. But just putting this on, concealer side, powder side. Girl, is you seeing this? Is you? Well, is you seeing this? Okay, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna come on this side now. I mean, let's not lie, the concealer had me right? It was blended and the coverage was incredible. But now that I've got everything together, is you seeing this? Is you seeing what we is working with? Girl, don't mind my bump. And you can still see my contour coming through there. I'm just tapping on top of it, but you can still see my contour going to my ears because everyone always forgets their ears. Rihanna, me and you going for chatting up for because I want to understand why this product looks so turn up. Now, real talk. Is anybody else seeing? Nah. Are you man seeing this? Are you, girl them, are you seeing this? Like, are you joking? Nah. Nah, you're joking. Nah, this is bad. This is proper. In terms of like blurring my pores, I can say up close, my pores are still there because they're big, but I'm looking on the camera. I'm looking in the mirror, like further away. Pores, where you at? I'm not even gonna put on any more because I feel like I've got enough. Girl. Okay. Okay, girl. I'm gonna go back in and deepen my contour ever so, I'm gonna say ever so slightly. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I'm gonna clean it off because it's obviously still got cream product. So right now, we don't want to put any more cream products on top of this. This is purely now powder products. You've done all of your cream products now. We don't need any more. Sorry, I'm still shooketh. I can't even begin to talk. Girl. Okay, let's get into this. So I'm using the shade Abby. My hand is starting to hurt now. Abby from the Saharan Blush palette by Juvia's Place. I'm just dipping in and then just adding a little bit, literally just a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. When I say dip, I'm literally saying dip, like dab, like dab of a dip. We don't need any more than that. And then going around my forehead. And then I'm gonna take my brush that I used to put the powder on and just soften that up a little bit because it got a little bit harsh. Nah, are you joking? No. This powder is incredible. Right. I'm going to bronze using Cocoa Naughty, obviously by Fenty Beauty. This is my way of trying to use as many Fenty Beauty products as possible. This shade is a little bit fair, but because I haven't got a suntan, it should be okay. So I'm just bronzing. I'll probably use the slightly deeper shade when outside is open and I've got a little bit of a tan. But for now, this is just a nice, subtle bronze situation. And then I'm just going to do my nose real quick with the bronzer. Up into my brows, down my nose. Up into my brows, down my nose. It's like a soft contour situation. That's that done. So how many products? I'm going to need you to let me know in the comments below how many products you've seen me use so far for this look, because I've lost count. Blusher, I don't have a blush by Fenty, so I'm using this one to kind of tie in with my eyes by Becca in the shade Lantana. It's their mineral blush. A little dip. This is another one, a dab, and then put it on. You just don't need any more. You just don't. And then to tie in with that, I'm going back to Fenty and I'm using the Killawatt highlight in Hustler Baby, which is a nice orangey gold, which ties in pretty nicely with my eyes. Whew, girl, got a bit carried away there. I always do my lip, down my nose. Just gonna put a little bit there and there. Just a little bit, just a little bit. And then I'm going to put this in my inner corner as well, just to tie it all together. Not gonna do a brow bone, don't think it's necessary, but inner corner is definitely where it's at. And then for my lips, I'm going to do a little trick. I don't have any Fenty Beauty lip liners. I don't think she has any. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to use the Stunner Lip Paint in the shade Underdog. I'm telling you, being right-handed and having an injury on your knuckles is just not it. And I'm going to take this brush here. This is the accent brush from Raw Techniques. So I'm going to take some of that lip product, and I'm actually going to use this product as a lip liner. So here it goes. It's quite dark. It's not even quite, it's dark. It's very dark. There's my lip line. And then now I want to use the lipstick, which is the Mademoiselle in the shade Spanked. And I'm going to take that brush and blend them together. To get, oof, I'm telling you, you cannot beat an ombre lip. I'm not going to put any gloss on there, but what I am going to do is put some lashes on. I might do my hair as well. Yeah, let me start my hair real quick and come back to you with my final wrap-up thoughts on this foundation. So I have done my hair and put my lashes on. They are a wretch to get on. They're a wretch to get on, but they're cute. I haven't set my face yet with setting spray. I'm kind of undecided whether I should or I shouldn't, but ordinarily I would. Let's do it. Let me just set my face real quick. So, arm out. Just a quick mist. Fenty Beauty, come to Mad Me today. Hello coverage. Hello, like, easy use. I'm really impressed so far. I'm going to do a wear test. I'm really shocked by how it's made my pores, like, what pores? They've disappeared. Like, on camera disappeared. And even now it's kind of settled down a bit after doing my hair and stuff. My pores have significantly reduced in number and in size. I'm really impressed. Time is now 1447, so that's 247, also known as nearly 10 to 3. I'm going to see how this wears and give you my final thoughts as far as the wear. But as far as use, I am here for it. I think the colour match was really good. I'm glad that I went for 445 because it's not orange at all. It's exactly the kind of colour that I'm used to using. It now makes me think I actually might want to use 445 in the liquid foundation for this and give it another go. But let's see my final wrap up thoughts on this foundation. But so far, so good. I see you, Fenty. I see what you're trying to do. Try to take all our coins for everything. I need some lip liners now though. I need some lip liners. I'm giving you real golden hour goodness here. I'm trying to stay where you can see my face. I think this foundation is beautiful. And as you can see, with the natural sunlight coming through my window, I am happy to kind of, oh, my tiptoes a little bit there so you couldn't see the crosshatch of my window. But, girl, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. A quick check-in. I haven't powdered. I've had something to eat. I haven't touched my face at all. In terms of shininess, I'm getting a little bit here. Small lines are not that bad. I've got like one crease here, but that's because it's from my father. Because my mum don't have it. But in terms of the wear, I'm happy. It's looking really, really good. I'm here for it. I'm a fan. Put you in the video light. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I'm a very, very big fan. So this is now, the time is now 5:11. So I've had this foundation on for the best part of 2.5 hours or so. And this is how I'm looking. So I feel like I might go on blot because I'm oily. And I didn't use Fenty's oil or mattifying primer. I used the normal soft matte. So it is technically still matte, but I like to be matte. So I'm not going to complain about that because I didn't use the primer that would give me that effect. But I'm loving it. I'm a fan. I'm doing a quick check-in to blot my face. This is the first time I'm blotting my face, and the time now is, so I'm just going to use my NYX matte blotting papers just to take off some of that excess oil that's going on around here because your girl is oily. I'm not going to use the powder to blot. I'm actually going to use the setting powder instead. So far, so good, girl. Let's top up my lipstick a little bit as well. It's kind of disappeared a little bit. I've been eating. I've been doing stuff. I've been tidying my house, and we're still here. We are still here. So I'm going to check back in with you again shortly. I've just vacuumed my whole house and I've got a sweat on. Just make sure I turn my watch off. So yeah, I've just vacuumed my whole house and this is what I look like. But it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. The time now is 8:04, so I've had this on for the best part of 6 hours now, I want to say. And it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. I haven't had anything come off. I've blown my nose and stuff and nothing's come off. I'm just shiny. So now would be the time probably to use my blotting tissues and maybe just use a bit of powder just to take it off. I'm not using the same powder, of course. I'm just using the translucent setting powder that I got from Fenty as well. So that's like oil as well as a bit of sweat. Makeup is not disturbed at all. This will be my final blot before I give you my wrap up thoughts. But I did get a real sweat on vacuuming. Who knew you could sweat so much when you were vacuuming? But there you go. I'm just patting that on. I haven't topped up my lips since earlier. I'm just using this powder. So I'm going to keep it on for about another hour or so. and then I'll give you my wrap up thoughts. Let's get into this foundation, shall we? Fenty has done it again with another product that I would definitely say is what C said approved. So let's go back to the claims that it has. Remind of the time. So the time currently right now is 22:08, also known as, basically it's after 10 o'clock. And you can see I'm tired, I'm absolutely beat. Definitely think I need to use a mattifying primer. The soft matte primer is not for me, for my skin type. But anyway, let's get into the claims. Lightwear, light as air, no flashback. As you'll see here, I took a picture with flash and there's no flashback. In terms of it being lightweight, it definitely is. Like, I forget that I've got it on. I don't feel it at all. It blurred my pores. Even now, my pores don't look too bad, but it did blur my pores. The skin just looked incredible. Sweat, humidity, and crease resistant. Obviously, I started to glow and I started to kind of sweat a little bit. So all I did was just blot and it was fine, but it didn't like move, if that makes sense. So, you know, sometimes you can sweat and you can just see like your makeup just like pouring. You would see it all over my top. It literally didn't move. Crease resistant. I mean, it's resisting the creases, but it hasn't resisted completely. Like, I've still got a crease here where my smile lines are. I don't have as many forehead lines as I usually do. I've got like my 2 here. You can see I've got lots. So that's fine. I kind of, when they say crease resistant, I'm kind of a bit like, meh. But you can clearly see my creases here. Do I care enough? No, I'll just put some powder on and I'll be fine. Was it buildable? Absolutely, you can build it up. The type of brush that I used meant that I wanted a more full coverage anyway, but I would definitely think you can build it up. Does it cake up? Nope. I would say there's no cake here. There's no cake by the pound here at all. And when I first put it on, it did reduce the appearance of shine. Obviously now I'm shiny, so you know, I can't really say that it's kept to that as far as staying matte all day. It won't settle into fine lines or clog pores. As I say, it's settled a little bit, or kind of separated a bit in my smile lines, but I'm not that mad at it. I've had it on for the best part of 10 hours. Can I count it? 10 hours? 8 hours now. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So what's my thoughts? As I say, I'm sold. I would definitely buy this again. As I say, I bought this now. I've got it. This was not free. I paid my good hard funds for it. As you can see the price there. So I don't have an issue buying it again. The shade is right for me. It's absolutely right for me. I'm glad I didn't use the 440 shade that I was originally going to go for, because that would have been too orange. So I shade match using a lady on Instagram whose handle is Coco Swatches, and we're the same shade in foundation. So she said, you know, that 445 in her usual foundation works just as well in her powder foundation. So I used her as a reference. I think that my shade is definitely right. And bearing in mind, we're in lockdown at the moment, shops are closed, so I wasn't able to shade match. So I was quite lucky. So if you already have a Fenty foundation, you can definitely match it to your current foundation. In terms of ease of use, most definitely it's easy. It's so easy. So if you're not someone who's into liquid foundation, it's really easy to use, and you don't have to use it with concealer underneath if you don't want to. So if you just want to dust it on because you just want just a light coverage, you can do that. If you want to add more coverage, you could use the style of brush that I use, which is like a kabuki style. So it's quite a densely packed brush, and that'll give you more coverage. So you can also do that as well if you want to. If you do want to put your concealers on and all that kind of thing, as you saw, you put it on first and then you put on your powder products on top, because powder and liquids don't mix very well and you get some separation. See, wear test, it does crease and it does kind of separate around my mouth and stuff, but most foundations and stuff do. I don't think I found a way for it to not settle into my lines. Bearing in mind, I powdered my face down first, and I used the setting powder to also set it on top. So it's not a big deal for me because I'll just keep powdering it up and just buffing it out. I can work with it. It's one I can work with. What I would like to do though, to try it again, and I'll perhaps share that on my Instagram, is using the mattifying primer and seeing if that makes a difference. Because obviously Fenty, you know, Rihanna's made the products so they all work together. So for my skin type, if the mattifying primer will work, I haven't tried it yet, so it probably is a good time to try it now. I'll see how I get on with that, with the powder instead, because I think that might give me a different finish and I won't look probably as oily as I do now. Another thing I do want to also rebuy, I don't have it here, I don't know, I do, is this universal powder. I've still got it, it's empty, like it's so empty, it's really empty, but I like the mirror. And it's almost a reminder to buy this back as well. The blotting Invisimatte powder thing, this is so good, so I might buy that, and I think this probably could work with it, but that'll have to be a test for another time. But yeah, that's my wrap-up thoughts on this powder foundation. WhatC said recommends it most definitely. As long as you know what your shade is, it's fine, because it doesn't, in my opinion, oxidize and go that much darker. It literally applies as you see it. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible. So thank you so much for watching, and you know, bear with me with my burnt hand, my poorly hand, and I'll see you on the next video. I wonder what else I'll be trying. We'll see. Take care.